Hi everyone, this is White Merch, and today I have my 1K subscriber Q&A. I will be mixing up the questions because I ordered them by topic rather than by whoever commented them. I will read off everyone's names at the end of the video. But yes, thanks for sending in your questions. I'm going to answer like all of them now.
How old are you?
I am 22.
What is your zodiac sign?
I was born on October 22, so I'm a Libra.
What is your curriculum vitae?
I've literally done nothing other than school, so I've never had a job or anything like that. But if you're wondering how far in school I've gotten, I have an associate's degree in liberal arts and sciences, and I'm working on my bachelor's degree with a classics major. The school I'm going to now is a different one that I went to for the associate's degree, and according to how many credits I have, I am technically a junior even though this is my 4th year of college.
What do you want to become after school?
Yeah, I want to be a Latin teacher. This is only an interest that I've had fairly recently. This isn't something that I've had like my whole life as for like a dream or something like that.
Have you ever been in a fight? Did you win?
Yes, I've been in a few fights. I've had like some petty fights in elementary school, mostly because I was fighting in retaliation because I was bullied a lot. And I'm not sure if I won them because like we would just sort of fight until both sides got tired. But yes.
Other hobbies besides Latin and history?
Like singing, writing music, playing video games, origami, and drawing.
Favorite movie?
My favorite movie is Termai Romai. It's a Japanese movie in which a Roman from like Roman times ends up in modern day Japan. There's a lot of like bath humor in it. Like it's the whole title is Thermae Romai, Roman baths.
Favorite band or artist?
So one of them is Perfume. They're a trio of singers from Japan. They do EDM and electropop music, although they've sort of been changing their style recently. Another one would be Morning Musume. They are an idol group, and they do mostly EDM, disco, and otherwise dance music. Although there have been some like other genres that they've done because you don't really know what they're gonna do next, but like they're probably gonna make it danceable. There's an 80s British band, Eurythmics. In their early 80s years, they had synth pop, and then they moved over to like more rock kind of style in the later 80s. And of course, we have ABBA. They're a Swedish band from the 70s. They do disco. They did rock in their earlier years, but generally they do pop songs. And more recently, I have become a fan of Maruf. She's a Ukrainian singer. She does mostly pop music, although there's like dance and house kind of genres. She has an aesthetic that I wish I had. Although I don't think if you're young you should listen to her songs.
How did you get to listen to ABBA?
So I had a friend whose mom had an ABBA CD, and we used to play the thing over and over and over again whenever we would be playing. I also sing ABBA's songs for karaoke a lot. It's almost like a party trick at this point. Like they just call me over for me to sing an ABBA song, and then they just go like, okay, you can go now. And I became like a real fan of ABBA in high school when I started going through like this disco phase. I started listening to a lot of like 70s and 80s stuff from Europe, and I still do.
Do you play any instruments?
No, I don't play any instruments. I actually can't read sheet music, so I'm actually quite surprised that I can even sing.
Favorite game?
My favorite game is Pokemon Soul Silver. It is my first Pokemon game that I ever had, and There were just some other things that came with it, like it had a Poke Walker, which was like a little thing you clip onto the side, like on your pants or something like that, and it would count your steps, but you could also play like some mini games on there that you could like put into the actual game itself. So this game is for the DS.
Do you like to cook, and what's your favorite thing to make?
I am terrified of cooking because I always feel like I'm either going to burn myself or I'm going to burn the food. And most of the stuff that I eat anyway, because I'm really unhealthy, I eat a lot of like fast food, which is really bad for me. And just if I am going to make anything, it's going to be things that are super easy to prepare, like take no effort whatsoever, but like don't expect me to be like actually cooking something for real. But I guess if it's like garbage food, it would be like pepperoni hot pockets or something like that. Yeah.
Favorite food?
But that's not my favorite food in general. Like I really like salmon, raw or cooked. So just give me salmon. And I guess I could also mention my favorite drink. I like milk. I actually drink 2 to 3 gallons of milk per week. I drink large quantities of milk.
Favorite color?
My favorite color is red, just arbitrarily. It just looks nice.
What's your favorite and or most worn accessory or piece of jewelry?
So my most worn / favorite piece of jewelry is this gold ring. It reminds me of like gladiator shoes for some reason. Yeah, but also just because it sort of just goes with everything. There's no like design like this, which would really just go with things that are pink. There's really nothing else to it other than the gold. And my most worn / favorite accessory would be this headband, which I wear like this, or like a regular headband, like that. And it has these sort of leaf designs running down. It's sort of bent up because it's been in a bag. But you'll see me wearing these a lot in my videos.
What originally got you into making videos for YouTube? Is there a story behind it?
So I was watching videos on YouTube since about like 2008, and most of the stuff I would watch around then was like stop motion Lego videos, because I was like a child at the time. Of course, like I didn't really go to YouTube for anything else. Maybe I would look at some like old memes. And I actually waited until I was 13 to make an account because like it said on there you had to be at least 13 to make an account, so I really waited until I was 13, and that was about like 2011 or something. Some of my friends had channels and I was in middle school at the time, so the way I would communicate with them outside of school was through their comment sections, or there used to be this thing on like each person's channel. They would have like this little section where you could talk to them, sort of like the community or discussion tab, but it's like right on the front, and that's where we would talk, although all that stuff is gone now because I think like YouTube got rid of that. But anyway, I started making videos of my own because they were making videos. Their kind of videos were more like animation, and one of my friends did like Littlest Pet Shop stop motions. I wasn't really interested in doing any of that stuff, and I was really bad at trying to draw on the computer. So I decided to just make lyric videos for like anime openings and endings. And then for some reason I got into like origami, so then I would rip off of other people's tutorials and turn them into my own videos. I also did like cringy skits that I would do with the neighborhood kids, because I was the oldest in my neighborhood out of the kids that were there, and so I'm used to entertaining them. So this was one of the ways that we could keep ourselves entertained. We would like make all these weird skits and then we'd just watch them, and they were like probably really funny to us back then, but now they're like not funny. Making videos was like the next logical step after like drawing and writing songs and stuff like that to entertain them. So it was mainly just for people that knew me in real life. Like, I didn't really expect anyone else was gonna watch it, and if they did, like, you know, they're not gonna say anything. Because being a YouTuber at the time did not really exist, and the people that were big on YouTube were like comedians. So I thought, like, oh, I could do like comedy stuff because, like, I thought it was funny.
When and how did you first discover ASMR?
So when I was 13, I got my own room, because before that I used to stay in my parents' room, and sort of like sleeping on my own was like very weird. So I used to keep the TV on all the time so that I would know that there's other people in the room or something like that. It would have this sort of feeling that there's somebody there, because like sleeping in total silence creeped me out. So I used to have the TV on, but then I guess like I sort of indirectly found ASMR through there was like a comment section in our cherry pies videos. I'll get to that in a moment. They were asking like, is this ASMR? And I didn't know what that was, so I looked it up on YouTube and I started watching some ASMR videos. Like, this is like early ASMR. People didn't even have like the binaural microphones yet. They didn't have all these they didn't really have like ASMR triggers, really. Like, it was just mostly people whispering or talking softly, just doing whatever they wanted to do, or showing you something. And they were pretty relaxing. Like, I sort of picked up quickly what it was for. It was for relaxation and for sleep. So I decided to try it instead of watching TV. Instead of leaving the TV on, I tried to fall asleep to some ASMR videos, and it worked. And I started doing that more often. And like pretty soon, I was like listening to ASMR like every night. And so like after a year of watching ASMR and like fully understanding what it was, I decided to make my own ASMR videos. In like 2013 is when I made my first video. Even though this channel started in 2011, it's because like prior to that, I didn't really use it for ASMR. This was a different kind of channel back then.
Are there any other YouTube channels that inspire you, ASMR or just generally? What do you like about them? What are some of your inspirations out of the ASMR YouTuber world?
So I'm gonna just like list off a whole bunch of channels. We have our Cherry Pie, who indirectly got me into ASMR through the comment section. They do crafts, they do DIY candies, let's see, what else do they do? Figurines and stuff like that, just mostly like cute things. And then some of the first ASMR channels that I watched were Whisper Sweetie, Trixie Whispers, ASMR. We have Donna ASMR and the Jade Tapper. Like, I think most of these channels right now are like inactive, although I have seen Donna ASMR posting videos lately. But these were some of the earlier ones that I enjoyed watching and listening to. And I can't recall what channel made the first Latin ASMR that I listened to, but that was definitely a big inspiration for me putting out content in Latin or about Latin. This channel had 2 videos, one that was about Latin verbs, like they were just sort of reciting like a conjugation. They were just reciting conjugated forms of the verbs. And then another one was them like reading off of a vocabulary list. So they were like the same account, but I think they might have deleted it. There were some ASMR artists with similar interests to mine, like in terms of like Latin and ancient Rome. We have Butterfly Hijinks, who mostly did like ramble videos, but she would also do some videos about Latin. And we also have Greco-Roman Whispers, who would talk about history and mythology. And they haven't posted anything in a really long time, so I think it's safe to say that their channels are largely inactive. There are also some other channels that I have followed for a very long time. We have Vinesauce, who does gaming streams. They also do them on Twitch. They're like a group, but I mostly watched Vinny, Joel, Rev, and Limes. And I used to be really like a big fan of them when I was in high school, and not so much recently. I haven't really been watching them that much. Likely because I can't really keep up with them. I would like to watch like every single stream. Like I used to just every day that they were streaming, I would be watching. And then one of my inspirations for teaching was also from YouTube. We have Latin tutorial. He makes videos about Latin, obviously. They're about grammar, and sometimes he'll do some stuff about Roman culture, but in like short videos. And that's kind of the channel that helped me learn Latin just as much as my teachers taught me Latin. And I would like, he's kind of my idol. Currently some channels that I've been watching, again, this is not ASMR, but they are Failboat, who does more gaming streams. I have Dead Winged Orc, who sort of does like commentary and criticism of mostly things on internet culture, although there are some things that are in real life that he talks about. And we have Telltale, who does videos on religion, atheism, and cults. It's a sort of podcast style, and all three of these channels are really nice to listen to while you're doing other things. Like, I can sort of tune out for a second and not like miss too much.
And what triggers really appeal to you when you first heard them?
My first ASMR trigger that I liked was nail tapping, and it's still my favorite to this day. It's very easy to do. It gives the ASMR artist a break from speaking, and you can really just do this with anything. Like, you just pick something up and you can probably tap on it.
What is your goal on YouTube? Is it a hobby, or do you want it to be a career or big part of your life in the future?
So YouTube has always been a hobby for me. I don't think I'm going to be doing YouTube as a job or anything like that anytime soon. Although I do expect that I'm going to be on this channel for a very long time, and if I don't, then like, I really hope I don't get so busy to the point where I can't make videos anymore, because this is really fun.
What are your future plans for this channel?
So one of my plans for this channel is that I will be doing some occasional non-ASMR songs, because I've finally decided to put my songs out there, even though they're like cheaply made. Like, I just want them to be out there. I'll probably be doing some videos about ancient Greek, like the language, but until I get better at that, I probably won't be making any videos about that anytime soon. But maybe in the summer I will, because I will have had 2 semesters of it by then. And for those of you who subscribed because you like my color-coded lyric videos, I won't be doing any of those anymore because it detracts from the theme of my channel. Because this is an ASMR channel, and I kind of don't want to have too many different types of content on here, aside from ASMR.
If you were told that all but one of your videos would be deleted, which one would you choose to save?
So if all my videos were going to be deleted except for one, it would be the, let me read the title. ASMR Whisper, Unboxing Hello Sanrio, Mystery Snack Box with Friends. So this was a video that I did with 3 of my friends, but only 2 of them were awake. The other one was just like sleeping in the background. Wow, it's like my ASMR worked so well that she fell asleep before I even did it. But we sort of make jokes about that one all the time. This video, we call it the anthrax video because one of my friends asked, what's the powder that when you smell it you die? I was like, is it anthrax? Because one of the snacks inside of that box was already opened, and so we like kept on joking that it might have been tampered with. And we were all like awake at 4 in the morning, so would just say really weird things like that. And then after we recorded the video, we did sort of like a communion with the cookies and the ramune being the communion wafers and the wine. Because one of my friends is Catholic, so she was like, oh, we could do a communion. So I think that might be the video that I would save because it's probably one of my most memorable ones. And like during and after the video, I think I will remember that one the most.
How do you experience ASMR? Do you get tingles usually or just find it relaxing?
Yes, after all these years, I still get tingles. I actually sleep on my side, or at least I start that way, like in the morning. It's just a completely different position. But whichever side is not on the bed is the side that gets the tingles. So if I am laying on my left side, it's the right side that gets the tingles. It's very rare that the whole body gets it. So I also use different types of ASMR videos for different things. I listen to either no talking or other language videos while I'm studying or doing some other task that involves me to focus on that task rather than on the video. I use them as background noise. But if I'm trying to sleep, then I play like whispered or soft-spoken ASMR. I tend to favor whispered because I don't know, I just do. And if I have nothing to do and I feel like watching something calm, I listen to a soft-spoken or whispered ASMR as well. I actually watch the video. Usually, like when someone is doing something in the video, that's when I sort of watch it. But if it's like a triggers compilation, then I probably would just listen to it in the background as I'm sleeping or studying.
What's your favorite ASMR trigger?
My favorite ASMR trigger is still tapping. Like, I still like nail tapping. It's, I mean, like, there's so many like textures that you could tap on, and it's like different every single time. So I don't think that's gonna get old. Also, I like the sound of slime and like mouth sounds and eating sounds. Like, I know a lot of people don't really like them, but it's like the squishiness of the sound. Like, I sort of divide ASMR triggers into two categories. You have the hard sounds and the squishy sounds. Like, tapping would be a hard sound because like and then like mouth sounds would be like a squishy sound because they're not like, they just sound softer. I don't know. I also like hearing people talk in other languages because I don't have to focus too much on what they're saying, although I do eventually focus on what they're saying because I'm trying to figure out what they're saying. But generally, I like the sound of people whispering or soft speaking in other languages because there are some sounds that are either not present in English or are not used enough in English that sound really nice when they are whispered or soft spoken.
What's your least favorite ASMR trigger?
My least favorite triggers are any that have sort of voice to them. That would be things like singing bowls or like tuning forks. I also really don't like triggers that buzz because I have a really like irrational fear of buzzing. Like specifically the kind that sounds like a fly or a bee. Like, I know like flies don't do anything, but like the sound is enough to make me have like fight or flight. So yeah, I don't like anything that sounds like buzzing. So some white noise things, like sometimes they bother me.
What is a strange ASMR trigger that you recommend?
Yeah, so like nothing's weird in ASMR anymore, so this was really difficult for me to come up with an answer for because like there's just like nothing strange anymore. Like, I feel like I've seen everything. But like definitely like something that would just be kind of weird is like lens licking. Like, I would never do that personally. But it has like visual triggers and mouth sounds at the same time. So I guess that's my reason for liking that trigger. yes, I'm probably going to make those color series videos. I like to space them out though, so that they're not like all one after the next, and I can do whatever videos I want in between them. I'm not going to be putting purple and green together in the same video though. I'm probably going to just put green in the next one, maybe purple another time.
What are your thoughts on doing roleplay ASMR videos? Is it something you are interested in, or is it not your style? Are there going to be more Latin language RPs coming in the future, where you either ramble or speak Latin for the entire duration of the video, or are those too time or preparation intense to make?
So yes, I am interested in doing RP videos. In fact, I had a channel, like one I don't use anymore, that was just dedicated to RPing as a Latin teacher. And those became very time consuming, so I didn't really do those videos anymore. Like, I also have a few RP videos that are not Latin related on my channel, this one, and I think those ones are okay. I want to do more Latin RPs, but they take a lot more time. Like, the ones that are completely in Latin take a lot more time, because I have to make sure that all the Latin is correct, and then there's a lot of second guessing, a lot of stuff that doesn't make it, you know, and then I just get rid of the video entirely. Like, I just get rid of the entire idea. And I keep joking to myself that I should do one of these like stereotypical like girlfriend role plays in Latin, but I just like it's just like an inside joke to myself. Like, I don't think I would ever really do that. But on the day that I do, just know my channel's probably going downhill.
What got you into Latin as a language?
So the short answer would be Praetorian Guard legs. And the long answer would be that, like, I sort of got into Latin, like, in the weirdest way, because I've always been into languages. Like, I sort of overdid it when I was learning English, because English is my third language. Like, I sort of overdid this to the point where even, like, the large words, I would, like, take time to learn it. And in school, when we had like spelling tests, like my teacher would tell me, like, I think everything's too, like, I think it's too easy for you. You need to like start picking your own like vocabulary lists, because you have like a very high vocabulary for someone this age or something. So like, it was a lot of that. And because I liked all the big words and stuff like that, I think that's probably what got me interested into Latin. But that's not the main reason why I even decided to take Latin, because I could have taken any other language, really. You could have argued the same thing for any of the Romance languages. Now, this is gonna be sort of weird, but like, I, like, believe it or not, used to fall asleep in my history class. Like, I didn't care. I was just bored out of my mind. And not often though, I wouldn't like sleep often in the class, but just a few times. But like, we were learning about Rome like for that entire week, and when I got home, because this was, I think it might have been the last class of the day, when I got home and I was with my friends in the neighborhood, I was like, no, don't run. And one of them was like, you can't, you're not the boss of me, only the Romans. And I was like, what? And then they repeated themselves and said, like, only the grown-ups. And I like misheard it as only the Romans. Like, you're like, where is this going, Lana? Well, it inspired me to write a comic called You Can't Stop the Romans, in which I would make like really bad jokes about ancient Rome. So like, I actually started paying attention in my history class just for this one inside joke, just so I could make more material for this comic that I would show to my friends. And then at some point, like, we're still learning about Rome. Like, my guidance counselor at the school is like, she called me to the office because like, we're supposed to plan our classes for when we go to high school, because I was in 8th grade. And they're like, oh, what do you want for your language option? I'm like, what do you have? Because I didn't want to take Spanish anymore. So I was like, they said they had, aside from Spanish, they had Italian, French, Mandarin, and Latin. And they were like, oh, but don't take Latin though, don't. I'm like, you're hiding something from me, so I'm gonna take ended up taking Latin just specifically so I could make really bad jokes. So I was in it for the meme, basically. And it was sort of accidental that I ended up liking Latin. I didn't actually know it existed as a language, not even during our Rome unit. And because of the way that my first teacher taught us in a sort of etymological, like historical, grammar-y kind of way, I don't know how to explain this, like linguistics, she would use this kind of approach. I was able to find interest in Latin because I liked words, and now I knew where they were coming from. So I thought this was like the coolest thing ever. I got to sort of figure out where words came from. And like, I don't know, at that point, why would I want to learn another language? Like, I don't know. So I sort of became a Latinist by accident. Like, it was definitely not because of like history or mythology or any of that stuff. I didn't care about that at all. Until now, I start caring about it because of Latin. So I really just sort of fell in love with the language because of the language.
What are your thoughts on the Roman Senate and Empire? Which do you prefer? Favorite Roman customs and least favorite?
Wait, the Senate was there during the Empire. Do you mean the Republic? But anyway, I think the Senate's pretty cool because they were there forever, like, just for a very long time. Like, the Senate is just there. And we get to see the beginning of, like, a checks and balances kind of system. You have, like, during the time of the Empire, you have, like, the Emperor, but you also have the Senate. Like, he doesn't run this whole thing alone. The Empire was kind of a mess, but it's like very interesting to learn about because you get all these like wacky individuals like governing all this land, and just the idea of like an imperial cult creeps me out. That you guys are all like worshipping one dude as if he was like a god or something. It creeps me out. But yes, arbitrarily, I like the Empire more just because, like, I don't know, it lasted longer, and we get so much from that era, like now. My favorite and least favorite custom is gladiator battling. Like, favorite because, like, I can see where they found it appealing because it's a blood sport, and like people could get rich off of being a gladiator. Like, it just provided opportunity for people. But at the end of the day, it's still a blood sport, so that's what makes it my least favorite. Like, people died when they became gladiators sometimes, you know.
What do you believe in ideologically? Are you into Roman history because you have no ideological animosity to it? Or do you have animosity towards it but a separate personal, political, and religious beliefs from it?
So I was raised Pentecostal, Protestant Christian, but I do not consider myself religious, like, at all, and I probably never did. It's just that everyone around me practices this religion. It's probably quite dangerous that I'm saying that right now, but I assume nobody who knows me in real life that actually cares about this is watching this video right now. And if you do know me in real life and this is your first time hearing this, please respect my opinion and my beliefs, and please do not tell other people. I'm sort of hiding this at the moment, but I won't really elaborate too much on that, but I can definitely say I'm not religious. And I guess if you were also saying like ideologically, if you mean like a political ideology, then I lean left because the US has this sort of spectrum, left and right. It's really difficult to explain, but they match the most with what I find important and what needs to be like addressed in our country. I like learning about the Romans, but it has no connection to my religious or political beliefs. I just sort of like studying this culture and this part of history specifically for other reasons aside from that. Like, I know some people get into it because they really like the religious aspect of the Romans, but like I didn't even know what religion the Romans were, so like I just fell in like total blank slate when I'm studying the Romans.
Do you have plans of someday studying other languages? If so, which ones and why?
I'm currently learning ancient Greek, so I will probably do some videos on that. But I'm like in my first semester, so I'm still learning it. So I guess you could say that, like, yes, that I am going to learn that in the future. And I'm learning ancient Greek because I feel like it'll make my knowledge of Latin stronger, since they have shared vocabulary sometimes. And I feel like learning about ancient Greece will also help me learn about Rome, because they share very similar cultures. I might pick up learning Japanese again because I tried to teach myself when I was in middle school. Obviously that didn't get very far because I can only read kana, and I can like identify some of the very like common kanji, but like I can't really make sentences or speak it at all. Like I can probably get the general gist of what people are saying because I'm an auditory learner mostly, but it's not enough to be able to actually communicate, because like I stopped learning it and teaching it to myself because I started learning Latin like right after. So I also took German for a semester in college and Italian for 3, so I could possibly continue learning that in the future. Maybe I might relearn my native languages, Tagalog and Ilocano, because I don't actually use them at all, not even in the house, because my parents speak them to me, but they don't expect me to answer in Tagalog or Ilocano. Like they're totally fine with me responding back in English. And generally I pick up small phrases or words in other languages through ASMR and through music. So basically, like, I want to learn like so many languages, but I don't have an eternity to do that. So if I lived forever, yeah, maybe I could. But generally, if I'm gonna be studying any more languages, I think I'm gonna go with the ones that I started already.
What are your favorite depictions of the Roman period in more popular culture over the years?
My favorite depictions of ancient Rome might be Thermae Romae, obviously my favorite movie. I also have Life of Brian, like the Monty Python movie. That was really funny. So like that one was quality. I just like how they portrayed them as just very like serious, but also how like Pontius Pilate had like he couldn't pronounce his R's. You should definitely watch the music video for Rome by Genghis Khan. Like, if you guys know the song Moscow from them, like they also have another song called Rome, and the official, like the original lyrics were in German, but they also have another version in English. And I don't know, that song like perfectly captures ancient to modern Rome, and like the outfits were great, even though they're not like historically accurate. Of course, it's the 80s. Nobody has shoulder padded togas back then. There is also an anime called Hitalia, which I haven't really watched all the episodes or anything like that, but I did a long time ago, like, watch a few of the episodes, and I remember, like, Grandpa Rome was hot. I Claudius, which is a very good soap opera. You need to watch that one too. You should also watch Up Pompeii. That's a comedy show. I guess if you like Life of Brian, they have like very similar humor, because this is also from around the same time period. It's also British humor. So if you liked Life of Brian, you should watch Up Pompeii. There's also like a children's show called Horrible Histories, and like if just to summarize how they saw the Romans in that show, you should watch the music video they made about Marcus Licinius Crassus, because that one is like hilarious. They like turned it into like a dance song. It's weird. and of course their the Boudica song, like that one. That one was sort of like an inside joke between me and my friends for a little while.
Who came first, the chicken or the egg, or in this case, Mark Caesar or John Anthony?
Oh boy, now we're getting to the meme questions. Oh no. Alright. This is coming from like an inside joke from me and Lana, because we do this thing where we take somebody's name and we give them like a generic name. Like if we don't know who like the CEO of what company, like whatever company it is, we can just say like John, whatever the company is. Like if we don't know who the CEO of Amazon is, we would call them John Amazon. So like this is sort of an extension of that. So if you're wondering who came first, Mark Caesar or John Anthony, it's gotta be Mark Caesar, the chicken Caesar himself, of course.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
About 8.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
I don't even know a Muffin Man, let alone the Muffin Man.
What hand cream should I recommend to a friend?
Lemony Flutter Cuticle Butter, just because. This is another inside joke we have. Like, where if you say you like something, you go like, you pretend you're like the Amazon reviews and you're like, would you recommend this to a friend? Okay, this isn't funny to you guys, but like it's funny to me. And a final thanks to everyone who participated in this Q&A and gave me questions. I'm just gonna read off your names because, sorry, I haven't memorized all of them, and I apologize in advance if I mispronounce everybody's names. Like, I probably will. Luca C, Stephen001, Jason Vegan, Anna Xiccato, WPH15, zymx, April the Thing, Max11551, Julia Barde, Kiki, and Lana Lacoc, of course. Anyway, I hope you enjoy